Hey, welcome to Head Shrink Inc. This is Doc David, and Sally emails in and asks about conditional love. Listen in.
You are listening to Head Shrink Inc., your answers to life, relationships, and daily living.
Hey, welcome to Head Shrink Inc. and welcome to 2017. This is the first podcast of the new year. And it's a new year and I have a cold. So hopefully you can bear with me as I try to talk and hopefully not cough. So Sally emailed me and asked me a question, and I'm just going to go right into it. Is my marriage over is the subject line. My husband has been treating me really cold for a long time. He said the way I treat our child turns him off. I am the main caretaker of our child and not as patient as he is to our child. When our child is not listening, I tend to raise my voice, and I don't play with our child as much as my husband does due to all the housework. My husband doesn't do any housework. Other than these, I don't think I did anything wrong to our child. But my husband can't take these. He said if I treat our child nicely, he will treat me better. I was so disgusted by his conditional love. This is no difference than telling a child that the parents love him only if he listens to his parents. I don't want his conditional love. Every time when he treats me better, I will think this is the conditional love he mentioned. This makes me sick. I can't get over it. What should I do? Is our relationship over? Just as a quick answer, I don't think your relationship is over. I think that there's some challenges in your relationship that I think you're going to need to address. And let's talk about what conditional love is first. So conditional, the opposite, pretty much everyone knows what unconditional love, it's love with just obviously love with no conditions. A person does something and you still love them even though they do it. So the conditional love is usually where love is earned on the basis of a conscious or unconscious condition, which is what Sally just described. Unconditional love is given freely despite what the person is doing. And so I would say that, Sally, you are stuck in a relationship where it does seem your husband has some kind of conditional love towards you. Now, those are just words that were described of him by you. And so that's where, I don't know, because I don't know either of you, but I'm just going to take you at your word. So a lot of times what happens with conditional love, there's this if ... then ... It's almost like threats, right? If you do this thing, then I'm going to do this thing. Or if you don't do this thing, then I'm going to do this thing. And if you're in a relationship like that, I'm not going to say give up immediately, but I am going to tell you that that's not a relationship that's going to be enjoyable for very long for you, unless you have some serious mental health issues or addiction issues or things like that kind of keep you stuck. Usually healthy people in good relationships, they want to make life better for the other person. So they're not going to be putting limits on relationships. They're not going to be putting conditions on relationships. They're not going to be threatening people in those relationships as well. One of the suggestions I would give you, Sally, is that parenting in a consistent manner is important. And it sounds like perhaps there are times when you don't parent in a consistent manner. And when you're not parenting in a consistent manner, it affects not only your child, but it affects the person that you're in relationship to usually. In your instance, it sounds like your husband gets protective of your child, which then you take offense to. And so it doesn't sound like you guys are parenting on the same page. It doesn't sound like you're working together to parent your child. And so I think that's probably one of the issues that's going on in this relationship. It's twofold. From this brief email, is there's this threat that your husband makes about conditional love, which I think is totally inappropriate, and it's something that he needs to consider and change. And maybe he came from a household where that was appropriate. And if so, then that's a conversation that you guys need to have as reasonable adults that are trying to solve a problem. The second thing is the parenting in a consistent manner. If he plays with the kid and you're the one that's in charge of the discipline of the kid, that's not a good idea either. And I think that you both need to kind of have some equality in how you do the parenting. Your kid needs to be able to have fun with you as well, but they also need to be disciplined by you. And I think the kid also needs to have fun with dad, but he also needs to have some discipline from dad, because the outcome of that, if you continue the way that you're going, the outcome of that with your child is that you're always going to be the bad guy. And the kid is going to look to dad as the protector, and you're going to feel hurt, sad. You'll have a difficult relationship with your kid as they become a teenager. So hopefully you, Sally, can have a conversation with your husband. And my biggest suggestion is that you go to a competent marriage and family therapist to kind of work these issues out, because when it comes to raising kids and it comes to love and relationship stuff, it's hard to do it on your own. It's hard to figure it out on your own. And so my suggestion to you is that you seek out a competent marriage and family therapist who can kind of sit alongside you guys and help you struggle through these difficult issues of parenting and relationship. Hey, if you have a question, you can email me at headshrinkinc, that's INC, @gmail.com. This is Doc David with Head Shrink Inc.